Me did the young antechua, and maybe I'm discovered for Europe. I come a bush for Ghana. No, me used to tap send, tap send. No fee mobile money transfer. Easy, convenient, fast, and sounds so free. Won't you share? Me discover my pim tap send. Intienne, also download the tap send app. No, ever mobile phone so free. Na first ka come a bush for Ghana for na tap send. Papa no.
Everybody check now. Check it. Check it. The beat is real. Don't wait, make it kill ya. Get your green select glucometer and check it. Sugar level, check it. Check it. Green select glucometer. Check it. Push sugar level for check it. Check it. Reselect glucometer. Everybody check now. This advert has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
What is in the news? Reason we are watching some of his videos, and there is a story here I'm reading from Ghana Web that says he was not ready. He had his focus on Ghana. Akon on his failed signing of Sarkodie. He was not ready. He had his focus on Ghana. Akon on his failed signing of Sarkodie. Now this is the story. Senegalese-American singer and songwriter Leon Damala Badara Akon Thiam, commonly known as Akon, has finally revealed why he never signed Ghana's Sarkodie when he was still in his formative years and bursting with so much potential years ago. It emerged that Sarkodie had become the first African artist recruited on Akon's Konvict music, but it turned out to be a fallacy later on. Speaking about this for the very first time officially, while speaking to Ghana's Kalijay in an interview conducted on Twitter, Akon said Sarkodie lacked the mental fortitude at the time to take the world stage by storm. Hence, he was much more fixated on doing his stuff locally, perhaps to build the momentum first before moving beyond that scope, which is why he could not sign him. In his words, he said, "We'd had plans to make him so much bigger, but I think at the time his agenda was more focusing on Ghana, which worked for him, and I think that it was a plan that worked. I mean, it is arguably or arguably not, but I know for sure if he had followed your plan, or if he had followed our plan," let me read it again. "I mean, it is arguably or arguably not, but I know for sure if he had followed our plan, he would have been a global artist without a doubt. We realized that we really couldn't work with him yet because he just wasn't mentally ready to go on that level. We just allowed him to continue moving the way he was moving. Unfortunately, when you have an artist and you can't control the artist or you can't control the asset to them, it is hard for you to do what you need to do with them if you don't have control over them." And this is the words of Akon. Now, because it was something that was done on Twitter, there is a voice to this. I would want us to listen to Akon's voice talking about this. Then when I come back, I'll be asking my panel members whether this has been good or bad for Sarkodie. Whether he agreed to sign or not, that decision, of course, we all know what happened. He did not sign then. But that decision, has it been good? Or maybe if he had signed, it would have been better for him at the moment. Let's listen to how Akon said it. And when I come back, I'll surely discuss this with my panel members here who understand the business of show business. Now let's watch this. I'll be right back.
DJ Backyard.
Yes, sir.
Let's hear from you.
Okay. Back in the day, I had a rumor of you signing an artist. I don't know if you know, Sarkodie is one of the biggest artists in Ghana right now. And we heard a rumor about you signing him or something like that. Can you just explain to us what happened over there and if it was true?
Yeah, it was actually true. Sarkodie was the first artist that we signed out of Ghana. My brother Babs actually was dealing with him on a day-to-day basis. But at the time, it was one of them situations where when you signed African artists, you really didn't have full control over them. It was just the only thing that stopped you between the two of you guys and connected you was a piece of paper. So it would be up to the artist to say, okay, we have a contract, let's honor it, let's move it. But unfortunately, at that time, Africa really didn't have a system, you know, and Sarkodie just moved a certain way that I think that just wasn't quite where we were going with it, because we had plans to make him so much bigger. But I think at the time, his agenda was more focusing on Ghana, which was actually, it worked for him. You know, at the time it did. But I think that it was a plan that, and it could, I mean, it's arguably or arguably not. But I know for sure, had he followed our plan, he would have been a global artist, without a doubt. But in a very short time, we realized that we really couldn't work with him yet because he just wasn't mentally ready to go on that level. So we didn't really, you know, we just allowed him to continue moving the way he was moving. Because unfortunately, when you have an artist and you can't really control the artist, or you can't control the asset to him, it's hard to you to do what you need to do with him if you don't have control over him. And I don't know if it was him specifically or the team that he had around him at that time, but it was just very difficult to get certain things done with the communication that we were getting with his team at that time. So we wasn't able to really, he's one of the artists that I always say he's the artist that got away, because I feel like he had one of the, you know, his talent was unbelievable. And at the time when we grabbed him, it was at the very early stages. So he really could have been a huge poster boy to everything that we were doing. But regardless of what was happening on that end in Ghana, I did everything I needed to do in the U.S., with or without the connection, because I needed to see him make it. So everything that I could push, or every button that I can press on this end to give him an easier path to make it in the U.S., I definitely did it. And I think it all worked out, because he ended up getting the BET Award for it. So it worked out.
Okay, thank you very much. DJ Backyard.
Yes, sir.
Let's hear from you.
Okay, so let's give video credit or audio credit to Kali J and his people on Twitter Space, whilst they had the opportunity to interact with Konvict Music boss, that is Akon. And he told us that really and truly it was their plan to sign him, but they thought Sarkodie at the time was thinking so local. He did not think about the global space. But he is where he is now. He is at his own level. He went on his own pace. But I'm asking the question, and I'm starting this with Kojokin. I want to ask Kojokin that if maybe Sarkodie had signed this deal with Akon, would he have been bigger than he is now? Because Akon said it, that they wanted him to become a global brand, a global artist. So at the moment where he's gotten to, and if he had signed to the deal, how will the conversation go? Kojo, come through here.
This conversation.
No, I think.
I'll borrow Papa Nice, one of his favorite quotes.
I was saying.
I see, a snake has coiled around my neck. If I try to remove it, it will bite me. If I leave it, people will say I'm a coward. Yes, if he signed, he would have been bigger, without doubt. Because Akon at the time
Controlled world
music.
was
a great artist of that repute. And Konvict
world music.
Yes, Konvict music wasn't a joke at that time. Even looking at the artists that was on the label that time. So it was a straight break to the world market. And by now, maybe we would have been talking about Sarkodie. We would have been having conversation about.
No, I'm sure he would have been one of the artists from Africa who have moved to America.
Exactly.
Living there.
And don't forget, then these we didn't have these Nigerians.
Yes.
And by now,
Wale and Co.
By now, issues about we fighting over Nigerians taking over the world and all, we would have, maybe that conversation would have ceased because we had the Sarkodie. Maybe the Grammy would have won it now. So yes, if he signed, all other things being equal, Sarkodie would have been bigger. But also on the other hand, we don't know the contract that was
given to him
before then. And also, we have seen a lot of artists who have come to condemn some of these 360 deals around the world. And eventually, most of them even later left because the kind of requirements that they are requiring from these contracts. Some of them, they have a share in your royalties, your performances, almost everything that you do.
They also want to have
and it's huge what they take from you. At times, You wake up and you are touring about 200 countries, and you don't have a say in that. So most musicians, because of some of these things, come to condemn some of the 360 deals out there, and even most of them encourage people to be independent, encourage musicians to be independent, and especially in a time like this. Because before that system worked, because it was like distribution was so difficult that an individual artist wouldn't have that capacity to do it.
Yeah.
But now,
I think even Akon even mentioned it that at that time the African music system was not very tight.
Exactly. So now, I think Sarkodie's era was the birth of in the guitar systems and other stuff. So from their corner, okay, let's project whatever they are bringing on board and what we can also do as a people and with the vision that we also have. And also, let's not forget, he said he wasn't ready. Let's consider that. Was Sarkodie also ready for that market as an artist? Then psychologically, mentally, was he also ready to even make that mark? Because somebody can see you and say, okay, Forsen, I think you can be the Minister of Finance now. And Forsen can also look into himself and say, no, I don't think I'm ready for this job at this particular time of my life. So why not prepare myself? And when I feel that I'm ready, I will come. Yes, from us, where we are viewing the thing from, we can see that how can you even reject a deal from
such an offer?
Konvict? Because we know there at that time Sarkodie was on top. So going to a Konvict, I think it's a break that you shouldn't let go. But for all you know, if the artist also is not ready, and one thing is creativity, you can't force it. You can't control the artist, force him to do things against his or her will. So you can sign the artist and it can fail because the artist is not psychologically or mentally ready for the business. As to the projections, the benefits, yes, we cannot sit here and project it how it would have been. But also on the other side,
it could have been different.
It could have been different on the other side if things don't go as planned. Because before you sign, you put an artist into that record, that deal, the artist must be ready for it.
Psychologically.
You need to have control, as you earlier said, that you can't sign an artist and you are putting in everything and you don't call the shot. So in calling the shot, if whatever that will be said, it is not favoring the artist, there will be problem. Now it will come to a state that yes, we are providing everything for you, but managing you, yes, physically we can manage you, but psychologically we don't have control, and it is affecting your creative work. We've had issues with artists signed to record labels that their music that even they want people to write for them. The artist can write, but the label decide that no, this is the kind of song that we want to do, and we want people to write for you. And the artists have issues with that. Yes, they are singing all right, but inwardly they are not okay. So criticism that has come against some of these deals, even in our current dispensation, empowers musicians to go for independence. And I think Sarkodie
knew that at the time.
He knew that at the time, and he had a vision. He also had a personal goal that no, let me also build my craft. Especially one thing that we all know Sarkodie has defended is the fact that he wanted to portray the Twi language. I knew it could have been one of the topics when he signed to Konvict that okay, now you need to speak or rap in a language that people can understand. I'm not sure Konvict will sign Sarkodie and tell him continue rapping in Twi. Which he thinks, yes, he said, I think he was focused on the Ghanaian market. Yes, it could be that he wanted to, because he wanted also to project that language. Yes, now I'm not ready because I'm not ready to switch my tongue to any other foreign language. So if you sign me, definitely that conversation will happen. Guy, you need to switch your tongue, rap in English. And was he ready to do it that better as an artist those days. So if it doesn't work for him, what happens? If he starts rapping in English and it doesn't work for him, what happens? Would the label still be interested in investing in him? And now you put him there and he has to come back again. And he would have lost the local fan base by then.
Okay.
Maybe you go there after 5 years and it doesn't work, and you come here. Those of your guys who were rapping here will now have amassed that fan base, and they are solid here. Now you will come back trying to fit in there. And the best situation is that any artist who is solid, has a solid foundation in his home base, it is easier for you to get the international break.
Okay.
This is tried and tested. If you have that solid fan base in your home and you have that proper strategy, it's easier to break out there, because whenever you go, they also track back to your home base and see how huge you are there. So Sarkodie now, if you want to have any proper deal with any international record label, it will be much more easier to do it now, and he can even call shots now. You can't just bring any contract and expect him to sign. He can also go for a better deal from the bargain. So yes, he rightly said, yes, I think the plan or the decision Sarkodie took worked for him. Akon said it. Because he has monitored his growth from the time he rejected that deal and what he has become now.
Yeah.
What he is lacking is that international appeal that Akon and Konvict could have offered him that time. So from where we sit, yes, and where we come from, who will reject such an offer? It's like you have a daughter and somebody from America is coming to marry that daughter. And a boy in Ghana also wants to marry that daughter. Maybe that daughter feels for that boy in Ghana. But looking at as mature as you are as a parent, you look at the projections and what your daughter can achieve going out there. But what if that one also backslides? Yes, so yes, when we look at the opportunity cost in this, yes, from our side, yes, it would have been a very huge deal for Sarkodie. But now it would have been everywhere. But on the other point, from Sarkodie's also perspective, his visions, his dreams, his aspirations, if he marries it into that culture of or that objective of Konvict, maybe there was a mismatch. It doesn't fit. And yes, in business, I've seen businesses that start and people come and approach them that, okay, I want to invest into this business. And they look at it and say, no, our objectives, our goals doesn't fit into this business. You can think that, okay, this person is so huge, but at times it's a trap. They will invest in it and you lose the business. Yes, so I've seen some young entrepreneurs who have saved business ideas, and certain big people approaches them, I want to invest in your business. But then they also, yes, we will get the mileage, we will be big very soon. But as to whether you also have a stake or you own a stake in that, it is a problem. And many big stars, now there are songs that they recorded under the labels, they don't have any, they are not enjoying so much from it. The labels have ownership of that, and then they have to come and record other songs. And that songs were huge. And it's still cashing in. But at that point in time, yes, they give you the fame, but you don't own your life. And so if Sarkodie wanted the fame, at that point he could have gone for it. But how to even own himself and his craft would have been a difficult thing. But he can choose that, hey, now let me own my craft now and make sure that at the right time I also fight. One person made a quote, Motown. Let me read it and he said he was against these 360 deals. He said, if you want to find out the future of 360 deals, look at Motown in the late 60s. Motown was a pioneer of 360. They owned your likeness, your touring, your publishing, record royalties, told you what to wear, told you how to work. It's made for great entertainment, but if you look at every one of those artists, what happened? Sooner or later, they said, I'm not going to go on the road for 200 shows because you tell me so. I am an artist. I'm a creative person. Eventually, all these artists left. And so that is the other side of it. If an artist also wants to look at it two ways and also make a good decision about that.
Well, nicely said, nicely put together, Kojokin, on the Sarkodie and the Konvict deal. Michael now has sent me these messages, and I want to read them before I move on to Stephen Forson. He says, Sammy, name one Konvict product from that era, or even now. Will have Sarkodie been bigger? Let's check the other Konvict signees. What's their track record now? We shouldn't kid ourselves. Sark made the right decision. History is there to prove. He has a better value, better experience. Much respect to Sark. We know footballers who are bought by bigger teams just to sit on the benches. It could have happened to Sarkodie and his talent wasted. Thank you, Mr. Michael, now for this insight. Okay, now let me come back to you, Stephen Forson. What do you also want to put in this?
That's what I mean.
Yes, boss.
This is a very delicate subject matter.
I know, right?
That requires a lot of tact and wisdom to deal with. So I'm going to be very circumspect in my analysis. Look at from both sides. But I'll also be very straightforward. Right now, Sark is successful. He's successful. He didn't go the way the Akon would have wanted him to go. He's successful. Per our calculations. Yes, per our calculations, he seems to be successful.
He seems?
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Because
per our calculations, we don't really know.
Calculations, he seems to be very, very successful. And we are grateful for how far he's come. He's done well for himself. You know, being an independent artist, not on any label, he himself and his day ones. I'm sure it might have come with some challenges and others. That notwithstanding, I will also rule out the fact of how he could also have been bigger. Because if he has been able to do this for himself, and he was signed on a label, and he was disciplined as he has been disciplined on his own, and he could have been disciplined in a label. I'm sure with the world recognition and all that, he could have also been much bigger on the world scale. Being bigger on a world scale, Brassami can never be compared to being big in Ghana. Ghana here, how much streams?
The world stage will give you a bigger value.
Oh yeah, sure.
Than what we will give you here in Ghana.
Those who are saying those who are on Konvict music, where are their lives? Akon has so much money now. You have no idea. Akon has so much money now.
That's Akon.
Yes.
But the other, the ones he signed.
Have you checked on them?
Yeah, the one who said maybe.
He should also bring. He can't just ask a rhetorical question. You see, anytime you ask, I have gone beyond, Mr. Na. I have gone beyond rhetorics. Rhetorics is when a politician stands on stage and go like, and a promo sorry, where did he? And then it's when where did he? Yeah, where did he? But the way all kind of it sounds as if said, you get it? A rhetorical question. But we will go beyond rhetorics. Sarkodie, you see, the reason why most people don't like being under labels is that they don't like control. People lack discipline. And when you are in a label, they'll make sure you are disciplined. They'll make sure you don't choose, excuse my language, going to smoke over going to play a show that you've taken money for. You know, an artist who's not disciplined can easily decide that, Charlie, this girl where I get them there, make you forget the show crowd and go stay with this girl. An artist can easily take that decision without any recourse to business, without any recourse to Sika Omaje. And most of these artists like some kind of freedom to do what they want
to do.
Regardless of whether it is the right thing or not. That's how come people don't like being under labels. Of course, if you are under a label and you are not the one spending the money, it is partner. That's why we call it partnership. It's a business partnership. You are not the one spending the money. You are not the one doing the financial risk. You are not the one booking the shows. Somebody, your whole life is being taken care of. You think those people doing that, they don't deserve to also earn something? And I always say that it is always better to own 20% or 10% of a business that is doing well than to own 100% in a business that is not doing well. We should always look at that point. We can't always encourage our artists to stay independent. It is too small. Rather, the thing has become big. Even Burna Boy, who owns his own record label, signs deals with bigger entities. Bigger entities. They don't say, I am my own. That's what has taken Wizkid and Burna Boy and all these huge guys forward. When they also big already, they were big in Nigeria. Now, even Nigeria that has over 250 million population, they even went to the international market to get more. There's always, you see, any bad decision that you take, you can defend it. Any decision you take, Look, even somebody who was a school dropout, at a point, go ask all the school dropouts who became successful, whether they are still proud of the fact that they are school dropouts. Even when you are sleeping, you remember that black hole in your life and wish it was filled. You wish it was filled. Just that if you are dishonest with yourself, you pretend as if
all is well.
All is well. How many people dropped out of school and still made it? Do you know how many people dropped out of school? There are many. So the fact that Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates did it doesn't mean you can also do it. There's always some exceptions. There are some exceptions. What if you are not that exception? How many people, you see, Sarkodie's case with Konvict, yes, it didn't happen. So we can't go back to go and say this and that and that. We can only project and assume what could have happened. But to me, I feel that with Sarkodie's level of discipline, his level of discipline and business astuteness, Sarkodie would have made it. Because if Sarkodie only needed the world to be open to him, and if Sarkodie had gone inside, even if he had signed even a 5-year or 10-year deal with Konvict, by now it would have ended. And Sarkodie's name is everywhere. He could have now own what he is about to do. And that's why nobody can take it away from you.
Yeah, that is you.
That is you. Let's take it that even you've done songs that other people own. How about the ones you're about to do? That now you are popular, you are now famous. Didn't Jay-Z sign Kanye? Kanye was in Jay-Z's camp. But rather Kanye seems to rub shoulders with Jay-Z. How about that? Every human being at a point in time, you need to recognize when you need to submit yourself to a higher authority that can take you to your next step. If you lack that discipline and you feel you are on your own and you can always make it, yes, you can always make it. I mean, you can always make it. But probably you could have made it easier and faster and bigger than what you seem to have made. That's what I'm talking about. But because most of us lack discipline, why it is pride. And sometimes it's not even us, so the people around us.
Yeah, they make we start assuming.
Yes, I'm sure Sarkodie's case, it was the people around him. Even Akon said it.
Yeah,
he said it that the people around him didn't seem to see what they were talking about. And the people around always, they don't seem, because they are being selfish. They feel when you go, you will leave them. They are afraid. But if Sarkodie had gone, and now Sarkodie didn't even make it and even becomes half of Akon now, do you know how much money Sarkodie will be controlling here in Ghana? Like, you can't these billionaires say on more Ghana, Sarkodie could have been part. What about that? But sometimes we lose certain big opportunities because of of people around us, the kind of advice they give us.
They give to us.
That's all.
I see. Thank you, Stephen Forsen, for this one. Still on the sack case. I'll be going to your grey. They come through and not mention. At that time, said now also, oh, yeah, active pan.
Yeah.
Time and Akon music, Ginamuno.
Sure.
Okay. The always say about Kabe sign so at that time.
See, I baby, I made women to me and come yes, I
But then you were with
I was with
Reggie Rockstone.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the baby Audrey.
Baby, I mean to me answer. That time no question.
But come be one. Alright, then over sign.
Every time Reggie man sign you.
And no be Reggie no. So one man, whether man sign and all man sign no. Our judges as it will depend on. It will depend on
Reggie Amuboni. I remember when we came on as Mobile Boys, and George Anda approached us.
Yeah.
Said, I want you guys to change your name from Mobile Boys to Extra Smooth Boys. Reggie didn't allow.
Just the name changing.
Yeah. Change your name, and I'm going to handle you guys across Africa. Billboards everywhere. You'll be playing all the big shows, but you'll be promoting Extra Smooth drink. Reggie didn't allow because our name was Mobile Boys, and he felt like, nah, Ghanaians would think you guys are playing with their minds. So I understand where he comes with sometimes the people around. And with Sarkodie's case, I would say it's a what-if game.
Yeah.
It's a what-if game. And I can say for a fact that what it is now is what had to be done or has to be.
Okay.
If you remember, we were on xylophone sometime, and Yakasa TV, that boy was like, Jibril was like, if Sack was in US, he would have been big like the Jay-Z's, and I was telling him, no, don't go there.
He
Swallowed. What he's doing, what Sack is doing, it's more like what you've seen somebody doing and say, I can do it, and you are trying to do it. And you are doing it best. And for where you come from, you cannot look like this is what the yardstick is about. That is how we have conditioned our mind. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because if Sack had gone there, I don't think Sack would be the Sack today. Sack would be left behind by now. If I say
left behind.
Left behind by now, as in the word Ghanaians would be, oh, why any day we're trying. Even baby original cry, say, why you be with them? On a level of how we think. Sammy, I was having a conversation with Jesu and Ache Wycliffe Bagana, and Wycliffe, I think, wanted to sign him as one of his engineers.
Okay.
And he was like, great.
Jesu.
Yeah, Jesu. He was like, great, I know do one. And people think, say, I lose God. And I'm like, yo, explain to me. And he said, great. The guy is big. I play beats. He's got a lot of engineers around him. I was signing. Or signing me here. They say, me Juman, you know, as I said, me push him out. Normally, select some be use or may use you. Kakra me and me sumenya. And ko see that time ben na me sumiko di line. One no na dwene no. But me feel say I can be my JSO here. Great, I don't have the hits, but I'm okay. JSO is doing a couple of deals underground now. Say, and then no, I'm for the bet to Johnny Aka JSO who was someone. JSO will be a steady case. I say, you see any who say, ya jaya ho. Because on ye de denibi. Time your industry do say where artists say uchika. JSO started so tree range. No onu momunum ponjin bi say enyum de sa sika no. Ebebre no. Saka seminar make can say. Sak wo be bia say owo no ofefe. Inti ne ba ne sa. His more Shadia artists or call reality show. Any artist or no famous blow. Kania society and our fans and Ankasampu who say why Juma 2 no.
No, bro.
Of course, so no, there were no platform here to stand up. Oh, your platform be my original. So, in fact, to be in a reality show for about 13 weeks on TV all the time, it is a big deal.
You know, 50% of 40% of the job has been done. You know, near way, firm no do abedu baby or the abedu no experience no way den. Unya ya lock wash them near bio bako. Beton you nakoda. Beton you nako. Obi fa near. As I say, as artists who firm. Into a difference. With Sarkodie no, me feel say Sarkodie no sunwa Ghana esombo because of decision we take here. And that decision no si ebe hwe mu a nanka enne sak baby a sak gina no we Lucia nka ande ya so boy de be bono say wan fa adwene.
Anka sane ya.
Fa adwene. Ba baby a ogina enne no e debatable. Because enne ya baby ogina na no say Akon na ka so be ya nwum mpo no say still obe produce here. Or sign discussion sak more they can still move and say it. On sign on here. So can be done with any other label. I work where a song a sack feels okay, I will be affiliated to. Okay. And it will be easy. Me assure say it will be easy. So no say or pair. Not make it sa approach now. It will be easy for Sark to have that level. But for where he is now and how he's worked, I think say time you know or our dreaming now or person and now Kojo Kabibi said he knew what I wouldn't say he knew what he was doing. He was growing with what he was doing.
So he didn't know?
I wouldn't say 100%.
You didn't know.
But from artist's point of view, like from where I stand, you see, most artists are here not because 10 years ago they knew or their plan is what got them there. It's different when you are on a label and the label is projecting that particular thing, say, within 10 years, this is what we are doing. But for an artist, yes, our level will be say, me say. But more now, work on conversations be, but businesses be, but so you watch, okay, we, mandrina hoba esu, but ebebuamio. But I'm too familiar with this, but we no sooner send ya sono, no, me so me fa we nko. That means we're opting for something and kind of plan so, but at the end of the day, you know, one. So I will say, most artists in Ghana working on their own look like they don't know what they are doing, but they are just moving and just being smart and picking the right opportunities. And it makes them look like they know what they are doing. Because if they really know what they are doing, we would have been bigger than what we really think we are doing.
Like if you guys know what
we are doing.
Your moves are calculated. So now most of the moves do you think like try and error of a
try and error. One artist comes out, blows up, goes on platforms, talk about how he or she blew up. Then every artist start doing the same thing. I can tell you for a fact, Ghanaian artists, your way of performing, your co-stage sooner, your Ghanaian artists a bar. Why bet me predicting the movement per stage? Yes, you are to the extent say it's hard for us to improvise. It is obi be different. No other bosun way in them. Na sadia no so ochire mu kakra so wia ye nyina ye ba bro ho no mo just say obi fufuro so ba no aba be ye bibi example assemble blow here na bluetooth do you know what happened? Everybody was like, yo Charlie, right now the game they forget the radio ni TV ye bluetooth unya nyum na bluetooth legon ye bluetooth assemble nyum na hete as Mano, Abrafo can release today and tell me he will make it because he's Bluetoothing to people. In fact, example, day. Shattered your Canada Junior, also Canada Junior, why ye, but any case study. Artist be a feel say, some come Junior, a babua, but when you shatter would see minity and your pet. Near Buano, shatter bet me in a tone. Into also will say Saka yena also yeno. Ubetime you to be. So I want in ya abwa obino. Not necessarily say a bit to me abuami. So if you ask me, I think Sark is where he's supposed to be, and that will be. That's it.
Thank you so much, Yao Gray. Well said.